I'm thrilled to share some exciting news about our YouTube channel. As of today, we've rebranded it from Historia TV to History Alive, a name we feel truly reflects our mission of bringing history alive in an engaging and dynamic way. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now, let's dive into today's video. Who would have thought there were so many attractive historical figures, both men and women, from the past few centuries? Well, we've done the hard work and rounded up our top 10 historical hotties, and thanks to the power of AI, we've brought them to life.
There are way too many people in that pool.
What? There is too many! How did the graphics department miss that? Less said about it, the better. Shall we just move on? So, sit back, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. At number 10, we've got the rather dashing Nicola Tesla. This Serbian-American inventor was a true visionary, best known for developing the modern AC electricity system. Before making his way to the US in 1884, he honed his skills in telephony and electrical engineering. Once in New York, he had a brief stint working for Thomas Edison, but quickly decided to strike out on his own, setting up labs and companies to turn his brilliant ideas into reality. One of his standout achievements was the AC induction motor and transformer.
No, not that one, this one.
Which caught the eye of George Westinghouse. Westinghouse licensed Tesla's patents and even brought him on as a consultant. Tesla's groundbreaking work laid the foundation for so much of the technology we use today. What a legend! A bit of an itchy ear there, dear fellow. Wow, that looks very dangerous. Counting down to number 9, we've got the one and only Bonnie Parker. Bonnie Elizabeth Parker, born on October 1st, 1910 in Rowena, Texas, was the second of 3 children. After her father's death when she was 4, her mother moved the family to Cement City near Dallas. Bonnie excelled in school and showed a talent for writing, later penning poems like The Story of Suicide Sal. At 15, she married Roy Thornton, but the marriage ended by 1929 due to his frequent legal troubles. Although they never divorced and she wore his wedding ring until her death, Bonnie returned to live with her mother, working as a waitress and dreaming of escape from small-town life. In 1930, Bonnie met Clyde Barrow. Beginning a partnership would make them infamous as Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde, huh?
Over 4 years, they committed robberies targeting banks, gas stations, and small businesses. Their daring escapes and violent clashes with law enforcement made them both feared criminals and Depression-era icons of rebellious defiance. Ironically, one of Bonnie's former cafe customers, Ted Hinton, became part of the posse that ambushed and killed her and Clyde in 1934, bringing their notorious crime spree to an end. Way to go, Bonnie! Make sure the car is spotless before your next heist. Looks like you may have missed a spot there. Now presenting number 8 in the Historical Hotties lineup, here's the good-looking Hunter Thompson. Full name, Hunter Stockton Thompson. A total maverick, he shook up journalism with his iconic gonzo style. Born on July 18, 1937, in Louisville, Kentucky, his life was all about rebellion and chasing the truth. After a stint in the U.S. Air Force, his writing career took off. He even spent a year with the infamous Hell's Angels.
Welcome to Hell's Angels.
Which inspired his breakout 1967 book, Hell's Angels, A Strange and Terrible Saga. Then came his 1971 classic, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where his gonzo style mixing fact, fiction, and raw opinion hit its peak. With his wild lifestyle and fearless storytelling, Thompson left an unforgettable mark. Even after his passing in 2005, his work continues to inspire those who dare to push boundaries. I think that you need to buy yourself a better-fitting hat, my boy. Be careful and watch out for them pesky potholes. They're everywhere. Moving on down to number 7, we have the infamous Charlie Chaplin. What a good-looking fella. I'm sure you'll agree. Charlie Chaplin, born Charles Spencer Chaplin in London on April 16, 1889, overcame a tough childhood marked by poverty to become a legendary film star. He began performing at a young age, joining the 8 Lancashire Lads, a children's dance troupe where he showcased his natural talent for entertaining audiences. This early experience on stage set the foundation for his future career in entertainment. In 1913, he moved to the US to join Keystone Studios, and a year later, he introduced The Tramp, his iconic character loved for its humor and heart. Chaplin acted, directed, and wrote many films, becoming a master of comedy and social commentary. In 1919, he co-founded United Artists to gain more control over his work. His movie, The Great Dictator, 1940, boldly criticized fascism. Though his political views caused controversy during McCarthyism, Chaplin's impact on film and comedy remains timeless. Just a little makeup and that iconic mustache, and you'll be all set! Heading down to number 6. All right, up next, we've got the oh-so-dashing Rupert Brooke, Robert Rupert Chawner Brooke. Born August 3rd, 1887, and sadly passed away on April 23rd, 1915, was this English poet famous for his idealistic war sonnets from the First World War. You've probably heard of The Soldier, but here's the kicker. It wasn't just his poetry people talked about. His boyish good looks were legendary, so much so that the Irish poet W.B. Yeats once called him the handsomest young man in England. Quite something, right? Up at number 5, we have the amazing and inspiring Margaret E. Knight. Margaret Eloise Knight, born on February 14, 1838 in York, Maine, and passing away on October 12, 1914 in Framingham, Massachusetts. Known as the Lady Edison, Margaret was a true trailblazer and one of America's most prolific inventors. With more than 25 patents to her name, she's best remembered for her game-changing invention of a machine that could mass-produce flat-bottomed paper bags.
That's an interesting idea.
An innovation that revolutionized the packaging industry. But she didn't stop there. Margaret also designed mechanisms for rotary engines, shoe manufacturing equipment, and so much more. Her brilliance, creativity, and sheer determination allowed her to break through the barriers of her time, paving the way for future generations of inventors, especially women. What an extraordinary legacy! Did you build those machines yourself? That's very impressive. Up next is number 4. Let's dive in. This time we have the incredibly good-looking and legendary Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was an American writer, famous for his simple, straightforward style and adventurous life. Born in 1899 in Illinois, he worked as a journalist and served in World War I, which inspired a lot of his writing. He lived in Paris during the 1920s with the Lost Generation, traveled the world and loved things like fishing, hunting, and bullfighting. Some of his best-known books are The Sun Also Rises, A Farewell to Arms, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and The Old Man and the Sea. He won a Pulitzer Prize and a Nobel Prize for his work. Despite his success, Hemingway struggled with mental health and tragically died in 1961. His stories are still loved for their honesty and powerful emotions. Oh, what a nice doggy you have there! We're now getting very close to the top spot. At number 3, now looking at a portrait painted in 1867 by the famous artist Georg Raab of the elegant Empress Elizabeth. Wait a moment. Who is this? Is someone having a laugh or what?
You're having a laugh.
You're having a laugh, and you?
You're having a laugh, aren't you?
You're having a laugh. You're having a laugh, aren't you?
Can we have the correct person, please? Thank you, that's much better. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, this is Empress Elizabeth of Austria, known as Sisi, was born in Bavaria in 1837 and married Emperor Franz Joseph I at 16, becoming Empress of Austria and later Queen of Hungary. Famous for her striking beauty, she adhered to a strict fitness and beauty routine, maintaining her famously tiny waist and tending to her iconic ankle-length hair. Sisi despised the rigid life of the Viennese court and sought freedom in constant travel, visiting places like Corfu and Madeira. Her life was marked by personal tragedies, including the death of her son, Crown Prince Rudolf, in the Mailing incident. She grew increasingly reclusive and melancholic in later years. In 1898, while in Geneva, she was assassinated by an Italian anarchist, Luigi Lucchini. Even today, she is remembered as a romantic and tragic figure and is celebrated worldwide through art, literature, and film. Oh, you've had your hair cut. It's usually so long it reaches your ankles, but it still looks absolutely lovely. Claiming the spotlight at number 2, it's the devilishly handsome Lewis Powell. Lewis Powell, also known as Lewis Payne, was a Confederate soldier who got caught up in the plot to assassinate President Lincoln. He was recruited by John Wilkes Booth to kill the Secretary of State, William H. Seward. On the night of 4th of April, 1865, Powell broke into Seward's home and attacked him.
Broke in here!
But Seward survived. Powell was arrested a few days later at Mary Surratt's boarding house. He was tried, found guilty, and hanged on the 7th of July, 1865, at just 21 years old. His story is a tragic example of how far some Confederate supporters were willing to go after the Civil War. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, it seems your fate is truly sealed. We have now reached the top of the house at the number 1 slot.
Numero uno.
We've got this absolute jaw-dropper of a beauty. Who is this, you might ask? It's the one and only Princess Foia.
What a beauty!
Princess Foia of Egypt, born in 1921, was renowned not only for being the daughter of King Fuad I, but also for her stunning beauty. She married the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, in 1939, a union meant to strengthen ties between Egypt and Iran. Fozia's elegance and striking looks made her a celebrated figure in both countries, with many considering her a fashion icon and a symbol of grace. After her divorce in 1948, she returned to Egypt and remained an important figure in royal circles. Even after the Egyptian monarchy fell, her beauty and royal status continued to capture attention. Foia lived much of her later life in exile and passed away in 2013, leaving behind a legacy as both a beauty and a royal. In our humble opinion, she undoubtedly belongs at the number 1 spot of the top 10 historical hotties. Her beauty and elegance are in a league of their own. There we go. That's our compilation of the top 10 historical hotties, or at least our
take on it. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments who you'd add to the list or who you'd leave off. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember to hit that notification bell so you never miss an adventure into history. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.